go status?
T-minus 30 seconds.
The morning mayhem.
TPA script running. Second stage LH2 securing started.
Ready for launch?
Ready to embark on a national security mission for the United States of America.
News Talk 92.
Range green.
Igniters armed. Rofi ignition.
KBU.
4, 3, and liftoff.
By to go to the partial.
The morning mayhem is on.
Partial thrust mode now in the port booster as expected.
The morning mayhem is pre-recorded and for entertainment purposes only.
I think it's time we blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
And let's jam here on this here Friday morning, everybody, as we broadcast live. Well, I say broadcast live, but as we broadcast from the DoubleTree Hotel. We now know the identity, and we've got the full story on the man that was found deceased on Fairview. It's Friday the 13th, and do you think these things bring bad luck? And here's 4 good things about today. Arkansas Supreme Court candidate halts flyers after Hutchison's photo, old quote, is used. Trump should not define our future. GOP's Asa Hutchinson weighs in on the 2024 bid. University of Arkansas schedules biosecurity webinars as the rise in bird flu continues on. And officials capture a big alligator in a small Arkansas town. All that and more. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. Good morning, everybody, here on this here Friday morning. And we are broadcasting from the DoubleTree Hotel. A little different here because we're here at the Arkansas Broadcasters Association convention, and it's held once a year, and it's where all the radio people, pretty much just everybody in broadcasting, get together once a year. And, it's kind of like our spring version of spring break, but the whole idea is to, reconnect, network and everything, and, catch up on each other, and also learn some new things out there as well, like continuing education, because, we're always constantly learning new things. Things are constantly always changing in our industry, and sometimes you even need a refresher course on how to report a civil unrest. That's not a peaceful protest. That's a riot. or that's not a peaceful protest. That's looting. So, it was really sad back when all this stuff was going on in 2020 that they actually had to reissue the handbook on how to report on civil unrest. And the fact that nobody knew how to do it, I guess, because the TV people were not doing a very good job of it, especially when they were getting ahead of the police department and getting shot with beanbags. And I'm thinking, all I got to do is call my chief up and say, hey, I hear y'all are going out, and can I stand behind y'all while y'all do that stuff? Because that'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to get in on that action there. But some people, I guess, that college education, they forget what's going on out there. They just get stupid when people get excited. 69 degrees outside. It feels like 73 right now, high of 93. And we're going to see some rain in the forecast as we get into Sunday evening and Monday as well. So let's see. Today is Friday the 13th. Yay. So for all you superstitious people out there, this is your day. This is your day to get crazy out there and do all kind of superstitious things. And some things about Friday the 13th, these things that bring you bad luck, because it only happens once this year. So today is your day. So if you're a big Friday the 13th fan, it's only happening one time this year, and this is it. So don't blow it, all right? The next one isn't until January, and that's next year. So do you think it matters, or is it just another day? Well, to me, it's just another day. But some people out there, man, they take this thing seriously. They even have little Friday the 13th parties, too. A new poll found that 1 in 5 people do think it's unlucky. However, many of these other things, what are you afraid of? Well, coming in at number 10, white lighters. White lighters? See, people always told me it was red lighters that were bad luck. In fact, I had a red lighter on a boat and they threw it in the lake because they said it was bad luck. 8% actually think it's unlucky. There's a myth, though, that Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Kurt Cobain had white lighters on them when they died. So, coming in at number 9, passing a cemetery without holding your breath. 8% think that it causes bad luck, and 6% say the same thing about tunnels. You got to hold your breath when passing through a tunnel or passing a cemetery. Number 8, being on the 13th floor of a building. Ironically, 13% think it's unlucky. Number 7, the number 666. 21% are superstitious about it. Somebody will buy a stick of gum just to make sure, if it's $6.66, yeah, somebody will buy a stick of gum just to change that. Opening an umbrella indoors coming in at number 6. 19% think that's unlucky. Number 5, seeing an owl. 10% think it's a sign that something bad will happen. Black cats coming in at number 4. 15% say that's bad. Breaking a mirror. 21% think it's unlucky, coming in at number 3. But I've got an attorney that can actually get me 5 years instead of 7. And number 2, stepping on a crack at 12%. And number 1, walking under a ladder. 21% of us think that causes bad luck. So are you actually into superstitious stuff, or do you just do it for funs and giggles? They also asked about things that bring good luck. So, if we're going to do bad luck stuff, why not find out about good luck stuff? Like coming in at number 10, making a wish while blowing out candles. 28% think birthday wishes are legit. Number 9, making a wish at 11:11, whether it be 11:11 a.m. or 11:11 p.m. 13% say that brings good luck. Finding a four-leaf clover, 24%, and 26% think seeing a rainbow is lucky. Number 7, seeing a shooting star. 28% think it's lucky, and you can wish on it too, or you can wish on it. Ladybugs. 17% say it brings good luck. Crossing your fingers, 20%. Number 4, saying bless you when someone sneezes. 27% say it brings good luck. Finding a penny, heads up. 22% say that's good luck. Number 2, throwing salt over your shoulder. 15%. And coming in at number 1, knocking on wood. 26% think it stops bad things from happening. Now, I've done that just as a giggle, but I've never really believed it though. So if I sit there and say, something about something bad that can happen, like knock on wood, or look around for some wood to knock on though. But that's more just out of jest than it is to actually believe that it's true. So even though it's Friday the 13th, it always brings bad things, and everybody always associates it with negative stuff. But here's 4 good things about today, though. You ready? You ready for good things? Good things are going to happen to you. It can happen. You just got to be positive, man. So hang on here a second. Let me scooch this down. And, wait a minute. Hang on. It's being difficult. Hang on, because I need to. There we go. Okay. So here's some good things about today. It's Friday the 13th. So, you're going to be bombarded with negativity and everything. So let's focus on some positives here. Here are 4 good things about Friday the 13th. You ready? The first heavy metal album was released on Friday, February 13th of 1970. That's when Black Sabbath's first album came out, which many consider the official birth of heavy metal. It reached number 23 on the Billboard's 200, and Rolling Stones considered it one of the best debut albums of all time. You also got to play Super Mario Brothers for the first time. The video game Super Mario was released in Japan on Friday, September 13th of 1985, and it made its way to America shortly after that. Today is also National Apple Pie Day, which is just wholesome and delicious. So today's wholesome and delicious. And get some ice cream there on the side there with it too. Yeah. It's the last day before the weekend. If nothing else, just remember, even Friday, the 13th, are the last day of the work week for most of us, and that makes them even a better great thing as well. So, there's some good things about Friday the 13th, even though you got some bad things about Friday the 13th, and then some people are going to have Friday the 13th parties out there as they're getting into the weekend, because that just happens to work out great that Friday the 13th falls on a Friday, hence it's in the name. And so, it's like, hey, this Friday is Friday the 13th. We should have our Friday the 13th party. Yeah, let's get a party on. Instead of it, being Monday the 13th, because it just doesn't work, man. And now you want to talk about bringing everybody down. That's a way to bring everybody down. Speaking of bringing people down, though, we got the report yesterday on what happened to that gentleman out there. Yesterday was Thursday. So Wednesday, shortly after 5:30 or so, the Arkansas State Police were notified that there was a suspicious vehicle and for somebody to check on it. And Trooper Harper went over there and looked for it and everything, and found a man in the vehicle who was deceased. And at the time, nobody knew who he was, but as the thing played out, I've got a shorter version in the hourly news of what happened, but of course I got the full version here as well. So, it was Wednesday, and, I was wrapping up and everything and noticed that an ambulance shot by, and then there was like 3 CPD units that shot by, and I figured something's up. So I didn't really think much of it, though, but as I started leaving, you go down Fairview as you're going towards Cache from the station, and you go down the bottom of that hill, and there was just like cop cars packed everywhere, and it's like, that doesn't look normal, because they were around this car, and it's like, obviously, that is not a traffic stop. Something is going on with that vehicle. So what happened is Trooper Harper got everything started and then notified Camden Police Department that there was a vehicle there and there was a deceased person in the vehicle. So the report was done by hang on, where'd it go? Officer Carneal. And so he's the one who filed this report. And so it says that he says, I, Officer Carneal, was dispatched to the corner of Hawthorne Street and Fairview in response to a report of a vehicle that was off the road. And that was reported by Arkansas State Trooper Police Harper. And the driver was reported to be slumped over. Trooper Harper also notified dispatch to send EMS to the scene. And that's probably where I saw that ambulance shoot by the studios. So, Carneal's observations was, upon arriving, he made contact with Trooper Harper, and he was standing beside a blue Hyundai bearing Louisiana tags. The driver's door was open. An examination of the vehicle through the door showed Hines, the victim, Chris Hines, sitting in the passenger seat with his feet on the dashboard. Trooper Harper stated that he had opened the door to check the victim for a pulse and hadn't found one. Harper stated that the car was extremely hot when he opened the door. The investigation of from Carneal was he notified dispatch that the coroner should be contacted and put on standby. So then Carneal contacted Lieutenant Bush and informed him of the situation. EMS arrived and determined the victim was deceased. At this point, Chad Dupree arrived and stated that the victim was Chris Hines, his best friend, and Dupree was upset that EMS hadn't done more for Hines. Carneal, along with Trooper Harper, informed him that Hines had been deceased for too long and there wasn't anything that they could do, and Dupree then went back to his residence, and that's when Lieutenant Bush and Officer Bailey arrived. Bailey and Carneal went to Dupree's residence to determine if he knew the victim's next of kin. Dupree stated that he was trying to call the victim's daughter, and he stated that the daughter's name was Stephanie Hines. And so when Officer Bailey suggested that they could do the notification for him, instead he refused. And when they asked for a phone number for the report, he placed the phone down and stated that he didn't have one, and he ordered the officers off the property. We'll continue this here in a little bit. I've got to take this break, and we'll continue this on the other side. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. As we are about to encroach the bottom of the 6. Talking about what happened there the other day. And we got the official police report, so that's what we're reading from. 69 degrees outside, high of 93. Got some rain in the forecast coming up on Sunday, though. So keep that in mind as you're doing your weekend plans. It's Friday the 13th, everybody. Yay! And even though a lot of people have superstitions and everything, it's still not a bad day, though. We covered that earlier in the first segment there about all the good things you can expect to find inside a Friday the 13th. And one of the best parts is it's a Friday. Yes. And I mean, that's the best part about it being Friday the 13th. It doesn't have to be, whatever the date is. It's a Friday, and Fridays are always good days. So, where we left off before the break, we were talking about how, we came across this vehicle and everything, and then, what we learned and how things came to be. And then a gentleman named, Chad Dupree showed up and said that he identified the victim, and that was Chris Hines. That's his best friend. And upset that the EMS people couldn't do a little bit more, but the officers informed him that he had been deceased for too long, and there wasn't really anything much that they could do. Dupree went back to his place, and the officers met up with him over there to finish up the report and everything, and then was asking if they could get his phone number for the report. That's when he placed his phone down and stated they didn't have one, and then he ordered the officers off the property. So that's where we left off. And so Officer Carneal is the one who filed this report, so we're reading from his perspective. And approximately about 10 minutes later, a female that identified herself as Stephanie Balding claimed to be the victim's daughter and arrived on the scene. Cornell explained the situation as it stood and got her a seat in the back of Lieutenant Bush's vehicle with the door open. Balding stated that she and the victim had been working on the vehicle before she left for work at approximately about 3:40 time frame. And then Balding stated the victim had been quiet at the time and was going to continue working on the car. So they asked her if her father had used drugs, and she stated benzos, heroin, and meth. Then she contacted the victim's girlfriend to determine the funeral services and everything that she was wanting. So the funeral home was contacted. Coroner Smith came and along with Captain Sanders and some other people helped transport the body into the vehicle and get it transported over to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for additional investigation. So we don't have any cause of death or COD. That's pretty much all we know is that's how things went down, and that's where we're at. So, of course, if we get any other information on that, we'll let you know. But that's what happened. That's where that's at. And unfortunately, hate to hear that, though, and thoughts and prayers out to the family and friends and stuff about that, though. Because I don't know. It's just I was thinking about that, and it kind of had a little flashback to 2019 when I was having issues, and just the thought of, you're just doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, just like that, in a blink of an eye, you're done. And your number has been called, and it's time for you to go. And it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. When you're called, you're called. And you kind of have that reflection there, and it just makes you a little humble. And but I hate that we have to report stories like that. But it is life, and that's what life does. And I just hope the family and the friends out there, they find peace. So other things going on in the news, Buckshot's birthday was yesterday. Turned 93. That he did. And what's his name? Because I saw his picture and I couldn't. Gene Hackman. I saw his picture and I'm like, that's Gene Hackman? Because he turned 92. I didn't realize he was still alive either. But yeah, Gene Hackman turned 92, and he was spotted out in public and actually looking good. He hadn't acted since 2004, and the last movie he did was Welcome to Mooseport. And at 92 years old, he's enjoying his retirement in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and writing novels. But he recently ventured out for the event called Broadway Confidential, where he snapped a picture with former Saturday Night Live star Anna Gasteyer and Sirius XM host Seth Rudstein. That guy. Yeah, a DJ guy. And he looks happy, healthy, and all that. And so he stopped to take a picture with them. And I looked at that and I was like, that's Gene Hackman? Doesn't even look like Gene Hackman. But yeah, celebrating 92 years old. So, right there on the nipping the ankles there of Buckshot. Buckshot just turned 93 yesterday. And happy birthday again to Buckshot out there. And many more. Oh, that's the other thing, too. Gene Hackman, he's bald. Now, I say that because, come to find out, a court ruled that calling men bald is sexual harassment. It is. You can't do that. It's against the law, according to a court. A court has ruled that calling a man bald is a form of sexual harassment. And yes, we are talking about bald on your head. It happened in the UK. A panel of judges said that using the word bald to describe someone is a form of discrimination. And I know some people who are bald who are very proud to be bald. And they tried to connect talking to a man's baldness and to talking about the size of or they compared it to. Talking about a man's baldness about this is like comparison to talking about a woman's breast. And it's sexual, since hair loss is more common among men than women. So a case about a man whose supervisor at work insulted him by calling him out by his baldness. The guy argued that the remarks about his appearance crossed the line. It's just too far. And the court ruled that they weren't just insults, they were harassment or harassment. Oh, and for what it's worth, all three judges on the panel also suffer from hair loss, so they may have been a little biased. All right, bottom of the hour. We got to take this break. Be right back. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas, here on this Friday morning, the Friday the 13th, baby. That it is. And you're probably thinking, well, that's a bad thing, but it's not, because it's Friday. What could be so bad about it? 69 degrees outside. Hey, that's a good thing too, right? High of 93. See some rain in the forecast here this weekend as well. So it is what it is, and we'll make it work. It's the weekend. That's all I'm excited about. Broadcasting here from the Doubletree Hotel here in Little Rock as we're doing the show from here for the Arkansas Broadcasters Association convention. We're out here. We do this once a year where we all get together and network, mingle, catch up with one another, and then also learn new things about our industry. So it's continuing education, just like any of the other professions out there, where they come up with new things and they go, hey, look at this here new technology. Because I can tell you right now, about 30 years ago, if we were to do this, there would be 3 engineers involved, and there would be a truck sitting outside, sending everything back to the studios. Whereas now, thanks to the internet and voice over IP, I mean, this is it. And it's a pretty neat thing that we've come this far in such an amount of time. So other things going on here is we've got an Arkansas Supreme Court candidate, and he recalls his flyers. His flyers are messed up. Somebody put an old photo of the old hutch there on it, and even used an old quote too. So as the race for Arkansas Supreme Court is getting heated over there, one candidate is putting a recall on his campaign flyers, saying, no, I do not approve of this message. District Court Judge Chris Carnahan said yesterday that he ordered his campaign staff to stop sending a mailer that included a photo of the old governor hutch there, with this quote that says, Judge Carnahan has the right work ethic and judicial temperament to be outstanding. I have full confidence in his ability, and I know he will do an exemplary job. Slight problem there. The quote is missing at least 3 words. District Court Judge. The actual quote from 2018, when the old hutch there appointed Carnahan to District Court Judge in Faulkner and Van Buren counties, it said, Judge Carnahan has the right work ethic and judicial temperament to be an outstanding District Court Judge. Then the old hutch there said, I have full confidence in his ability, and I know he will do an exemplary job. So Robert Steinbuck, a Bowen Law School professor, and has worked at the United States Courts of Appeals, he says it reads like a current endorsement, and it's not. He says that the context from the center of the quote was taken out where it says Judge Carnahan has the right work ethic and judicial temperament to be outstanding. I have full confidence of his ability, and I know he will do an exemplary job. So it's like they took that part out. So a spokesperson for the old Hutch there said the governor has not endorsed anyone in the race for Supreme Court. So it's a bit concerning. So Judge Carnahan had to tell his campaign staffers that late Sunday, stop the press, everybody. Stop sending those flyers. Don't use anything with the governor moving forward. So Carnahan said, Judge Carnahan said that the governor had issued 2 statements about him previously and was using the basis of the comments of the mailer. So it's not an endorsement. Nor have I said it was. And Judge Carnahan wrote, it's an appreciation for the opportunity I've had to, as an attorney, to be appointed as a circuit judge, or as a circuit judge, district judge, and twice as special associate justice to the Arkansas Supreme Court by the old Gov Hutch there. My old buddy Hutch. So Carnahan said that he could not remember if he approved the flyer, but he ordered his campaign to stop using them. Did you approve this? Gosh, I don't know. Then they play it back and go, I approve this message. Well, that's you. Oh, no, I didn't approve that. Somebody manipulated my voice. Yeah, that's got to be embarrassing. Sit there and say, what? Wait a minute, we got to pull these flyers back. See, and then, I don't know if you've known this or not, but the old Hutch there is not a Trump fan. And far from it. So, he said Sunday that running for 2024 presidential elections is the option that's on the table. I'm telling you, he's been trying himself. He's going on the national talk shows. He's, becoming a talking head. He's putting in his 2 cents about what he thinks of going on here and everything. He's pretty much positioning himself to be a household name to run for president. So, I mean, him being coy about it. Oh, no, I'm not going to run for president. No. Yeah, I'm not buying it because I saw it before he even announced it. So anyhow, he said he's got to get through this year and everything. And, that option's on the table. But, he says, on the State of the Union response and everything about whether or not, considering running the next election. So, Dana Bash with CNN asked him whether he would still consider running even if Trump decides to go after the 2024 GOP nomination. And the old Gov there said that it would be a factor. It would not be a factor in his decision-making process. He said, I think he did a lot of good things for our country, but we need to go a different direction. It's time to switch things up, go a different direction, and I'm sorry, but you're just not a part of that. Here's your pink slip. Bye-bye now. And so, there's a lot of Republicans out there that have definitely turned against Trump that are trying to definitely get themselves away and put distance between them and Trump. So last year, Hutch told Bash that he would not support Trump if he decided to run for president again, which was a shift from his past support of Trump's 2020 reelection bid. So he said that time, at the time, he said pretty much at the time, Trump should not define our future. He added that the GOP needs to respond in identity with the issues that gave him, being Trump, the first election and gave him support throughout his presidency as well. So, yeah, the old Gov there, not a Trump fan and not going to support him. And it looks like he'd be willing to run against him. And I guess a good question would be, can Hutchison actually successfully run against Trump? I mean, Trump's got a lot of money. Trump's got a lot of backing, too. And it's like the deal, looking more on a local level. You look at Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's got a great name. She's got the reputation. But then again, she was also Trump's secretary. Press secretary. So, I mean, she's got that strong tie with Trump and she's using it too. And she's got the money to back it. Then you got Doc Washburn, which is the only really Republican left in the ring that's going against Sanders. So the thing is, though, is even with Washburn, I mean, Washburn's a smaller fry, which would be like what Hutch would be compared to Trump. And Washburn doesn't have the funding like Sanders does. But I mean, with Sanders' reputation, her name and everything, that regardless of her policy, just her name alone and the backing that she's getting financially, that's pretty much just going to wipe out anybody who tries to run against her. And I think that's probably why LG Griffin stepped down. I was like, I don't want to mess with that. And it kind of took Leslie Rutledge a little bit longer than Griffin to decide, yeah, that might not be a good thing. So now Rutledge is actually running for LG, and Griffin is running for AG. So I guess the LG and the AG are going to switch positions, which I hate to see Leslie Rutledge go as AG, because, I mean, she's done a really good job. I've never seen an attorney general like Leslie Rutledge do the things that she has. Now, I mean, you may not be a fan of hers or anything like that, and you may not think, and what we need to do is get a nice Democrat in there and do AG stuff, but being from, like I've said before, being from Texas and dealing with Hot Wheels Abbott as the AG, to me, the AG was just pretty much useless. They really didn't do much of anything. And then I come here and I see this Leslie Rutledge, and I'm like, wow, man, I mean, this girl... Did she man, once she latches on to something, I mean, she don't let go. And she's fought to recover a lot of money and stuff for Arkansans and especially people who've been deceived and everything else. I mean, she's a tough old bird. And speaking of birds, the University of Arkansas schedules biosecurity webinars after a rise in the bird flu. So cases of the bird flu is rising across the country, and the University of Arkansas's Agriculture Division is looking to make sure backyard flock. Hey, we got Carrie Weatherford is coming in today from the University of Arkansas's Agricultural Division. I wonder if she'll be talking about bird flu. But yeah, she's right there across the street from the radio station, and they do more than just chickens. But they'll be holding webinars. They've got those scheduled. The first one will be Wednesday, May 18th at 6 p.m. and the second session on Tuesday, May 24th, also at 6 p.m. You can register online if you want to jump in on this, and you can go to, it's a Zoom thing, it looks like. Is it? Yeah, it's Zoom. So yeah, you'd have to register with that. So I don't know how easy that would be to find without the link. Because that link is, that's a very biggie thingy leak there. Let's see. I guess I'd have to put that link up on the... Well, anyhow, you can register online. I guess just Google it if you can. So far, no cases have been detected in Arkansas, so that's a good thing. And so if you want to find it, that's probably where you need to go, is go check out U of A's website. And you can probably find that, and I still don't see a link there for the webinar. Go check it out. You can always go to uaex.uada.edu. It's still one of those long URLs where you're like, dude, I'm driving. I can't write all that down. So, yeah, you know what? We'll post that up there. We'll try and remember to get that up there for you. And so, okay, so now you got chickens, right? Chickens with the flu. But then on the other side of the state, down here in the South, you got alligators. And these alligators, they're mad. You know why? Because people are sitting there disturbing them when they're just trying to sleep. Oh, that's all they want to do, man. They just want to get out, sunbathe, and sleep. And they would also like to be left alone. So, we had who was this? Game Fish? Yeah, Game Fish came out and captured an alligator about 8:30 p.m. on Highway 138, also known as Winchester Road. That's out there in Monticello, which is still within our listening area. And these men, while they worked to tie it up, the gator attempted to bite a moving truck. He's just going to bite something. He didn't care, man. It's something messing with him. It just locked his eyes on something and snap. So these two men successfully secured the gator's mouth closed, and then they tied his legs to prevent any kind of rolling, because, that's what they like to do. They like to chomp down on you and then do the death roll on you, and then stuff you under a rock. But it's kind of hard to do when you're on land. So it was then they dragged the alligator onto a trailer for removal and then placed him in a nearby wildlife management area to give it and the public some safety. You really don't want alligators and people living in the same neighborhood. I mean, I'm not talking about, you're not welcome here. It's just, it's best for everybody if you go over there and hang out. Look, they got things that you can munch on. Huh? You like munching on things, don't you? Yeah, you do, Mr. Alligator. So officials say it was a 9-foot 6-inch male, which is actually pretty good sized gator. Arkansas Game and Fish Commission urged the public that if they see an alligator in the road or on the side, leave it alone and don't run over it because it can really jack up underneath your vehicle too. So, and they get to whipping around and they can rip stuff out like your fuel line and stuff. Then next thing you know, you're sitting there stranded because you ain't got no fuel and then the alligator's coming up on you. And then he's going to want to chomp on your car. So, yeah, don't be doing that. Be careful out there. And don't confuse them with tire treads either, even though truckers call those tire treads out there alligators too. You don't want to be getting in on that mess. Some other things going on there. Arkansas River, the Arkansas River. In fact, Arkansas River's like right out here outside my window. And man, I mean, it is high too. I mean, it's pretty swift. And you can tell the Arkansas River is swollen, just like the Washita River is swollen. And so, out there on the river, this train that was crossing over the river on some train tracks that cross over the river. And this was between Sebastian and Crawford County Wednesday morning. And so what happened was this was just outside the train depot on Highway 59. And officials with the Arkansas Missouri Railroad called it a minor derailment that caused a backup of cars across the intersection into Van Buren off of Highway 59. So crews came in and they planned to remove the engine with 82 train cars from the intersection, and they'll have to use specialized equipment, of course, to get that engine off the bridge. Yeah, it's not like you could just kind of pull up alongside the train like they usually do when a train derails, and they'll just come up alongside of it and they can use this special machinery to lift it up, and they'll actually place it back on. They'll swivel it in the air and actually place it back on the tracks if it's not too bad. And yeah, when you're on the bridge over the river, I don't know exactly how you do that because there's no room on that trestle at all whatsoever. So it should definitely get kind of interesting there. I've seen some videos though where they can actually take, and if it's not too bad, they can actually put like a shim on the track, and is what they do is they get the train to roll whatever direction it needs to roll, and that shim will actually pull the train back right up on the tracks. It's really neat to watch. Let's see. I've got to take this break. We'll be right back. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. As we are getting at the top of the hour there. And, man, boy, this show just flew by. Broadcasting out here at the Doubletree Hotel in Little Rock, downtown Little Rock, right off the Arkansas River. Beautiful view from the window. And, of course, man, we got together all last night because today is going to be a day of seminars. Yes, I mean, from breakfast starts at 8 a.m. So I'll end up, let's see, I'll catch that just, boy, that's going to be pretty close too, because I'll be in for the round table. And then that'll end at 8 a.m., which will be just in time to run downstairs and be able to get breakfast because it's and we're not talking about continental breakfast either. We're talking about huge breakfast that the ABA puts on and everything. And so then we got to listen to somebody talk and stuff but while we're eating. And then after that, once we get our bellies full, then it'll be a full day of seminars and classes and things like that. You know, the FCC will be here doing their thing that they do to make sure that we understand the rules, you know, the existing rules and then some of the new rules that are out there, and then the salespeople will be doing their sales seminars and stuff, and then people like me will be in all the engineering seminars, and I'll be along with my other fellow brethren engineers, and we'll get together and do nerdy stuff. Talk about doing nerdy stuff there, and then brag about what we did. Oh yeah, well I installed a 5 kW transmitter. How about that? I did that all by myself too. Of course, you know, I had to help with some of the fine people over at Dean's Heat and Air helped me out with that there. But you know what? When it came to, they did the legwork. When it came to turning that thing on and getting it into the antenna, Yeah, that was all me right there. And then, now my little other brethren and engineers be like, oh, look at you, you're so low, look at you. And they give me a pat on the back and everything, and they give me a cookie. They got lots of cookies here. I've noticed that. Dude, and they're good too. The DoubleTree cookies. Oh my gosh, they are awesome. Because they're always warm, they're always fresh, they're always soft, and they're like the best cookies ever. Oh my gosh, they're good cookies. So, looking forward to that. And then pretty much be out here all day. But last night, though, we all got together. They have the AT&T Hospitality Suite, which is great. And that's where we all get together because it's open bar. So, and it's a full spread of food and everything. You can't go wrong, man. Open bar, food, finger foods, bar foods, and things like that. So, we all got together last night. And, well, I was up late, too. And so I'm kind of feeling it right now. Like, ooh. You don't hear it in my voice, though, but man, I'm just kind of like, ooh, I'm definitely feeling that. So, Mega Millions. Boy, somebody felt that one there because they thought they won, but there was just a big old snafu. Why? Well, because the host of the Mega Millions said the wrong number. So, the next Mega Millions drawing is tonight, and hopefully they get it right this time. So if you don't hear about this, it was a big deal. The last drawing was Tuesday, and the guy who announced each number read one of them wrong. He said the mega ball was a 6, but it was actually a 9. It was a 6 upside down. It was an inverted 9. The graphic they put on the screen also said 6, and it caused a huge headache for lottery officials. The Mega Millions website issued a statement the next day to clear things up. The actual winning number was 15, 19, 20, 61, 70, and the mega ball was 9, an upside down 6. Luckily, they checked their system and no one would have won the $86 million. Oh, dude, do you know how much that would really hurt? To sit there and have all those numbers, but you had a 6 instead of a 9, and they called out 6 when it should have been a 9, and you're like, woohoo! And you think that you just won the $86 million jackpot, and then they tell you, yeah, I'm sorry, but your number was inverted, it was upside down, and it was actually a 9, and nobody won. So I'm so sorry. Man. So there were no tickets with all those winning numbers. And the mega ball, number 6 or 9. Woo, boy, they got lucky on that one. But a handful of people would have won $10,000 prizes with a 6, and thousands of others who would have won smaller amounts, Mega Millions, if played and it's played in 45 different states. The New York Lottery paused payouts and told people to hang on to their tickets, but Mega Millions called the 9 version the official result and apologized for the confusion. So it doesn't sound like they're paying out the people with the 6s, but it's still not clear, though. Tonight's jackpot is worth an estimated $99 million. Yeah, so if you play that and you got an office pool going on, $99 million. And then y'all can all quit your jobs and retire and stuff. What would you do though? If you won the lottery, would you actually quit your job or would you just keep working? Or quit your job, but then maybe go do something that you really like doing because now you don't have to, depend on a paycheck because you won the lottery. So now maybe volunteer your time. Maybe go see things, get you a passport and go hit the road and go see things that you've never seen before. Maybe tour over in Europe, maybe tour across. That's what I want to do. I do. I want to get an RV and I just want to work from the road. I'm not looking to, just quit my job, but if I could find some way to make money on the road, I would do that and just, every now and then just, pick it up and drive to another destination and hang out there for a couple of days and enjoy the sights and activities and then pack it up and then go to another one. I would end up doing like an RV trailer. Yeah. And then have that attached to the vehicle. So that way I could set up camp and everything. Oh, man. I've thought a lot about that. I've watched YouTube videos and everything about how to do it. What's the possibilities? How hard is it? How easy is it? Can it be done? Do I want to do it? Yep, I'm sold. I want to do it. I want to do it so bad. Yes, that would probably mean I'd have to give up radio. But I wouldn't have to give up radio per se because then I could do like a podcast or a YouTube channel or something of my adventures on the road. See, and totally just change it around to something completely different. It wouldn't have to be about all the news and talk and everything that goes on in South Arkansas or what's going on in Camden. And then I would get new viewers because it would be people like me who were looking at other people's YouTube channels trying to figure out, how does this thing work, and is it worth my time, and is it something I want to mess with, and what do they do, and what are the complications and the pros and cons and all that. That's what I would do. If I won the lottery, that's what I would do. I wouldn't quit my job. Well, I would probably quit radio per se, but I would probably still do what radio is in form. I just do it like on a YouTube channel or something like that. But yeah, I'd have fun with it. It'd be a lot of fun. All right, I have got to get into this top of the hour news. We've got Carrie Weatherford coming in for the round table, and we'll get into that there in the next hour. But we got some other things we got to do too. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas. As we jamming it out right here. There you go. Some Kansas there. They're Kansas. Yeah, playing it in Arkansas. Carry on. Oh, speaking of Carrie Weatherford coming up there for the round table there at 7:20. Stick around for that. I'm sure we'll be talking about some ag stuff as well. And broadcasting here from the Doubletree Hotel in Little Rock, downtown Little Rock, for the Arkansas Broadcasters Association. Man, and it just hasn't been the same since COVID. It used to be that it was a 2-day event, so we'd get here on Thursday and hang around, and we'd mingle with everybody. And then Friday we would do our classes and stuff, and then we'd have the big banquet and all that, and then the dinner and the award ceremony and stuff, and then entertainment for the night. And then that would carry into Saturday morning, and then Saturday we'd pack it up, and everybody would head back their way and go back to their respective markets. Well, because of COVID and everything, this year's a little bit different. It's just one day. So we all came in last night, checked in, and we're going to do our stuff today. And then no banquet, no dinners, no awards, and everybody's just going to head home. And not only that, usually when I stay here at the Doubletree, I always tell them that, I want poolside. And I'll get one of the rooms. There's 2 floors. You've got one floor that's right there on the poolside, which is the second floor. And then the third floor, no, wait a minute, because I'm on 6 right now. So 5. Okay, so 5 and 4 are poolside. And with that, if you're on 4, you're ground level with the pool, which is great because you could come right off your room. So you got 2 doors. You got the door to the hallway and you got the door to the swimming pool. And you can come right off your pool or right off your door onto the pool. Or if you're up one more floor, you've got the balcony, and then you can walk down out your back door from your room down to the pool, which is really neat. And then if you're a smoker, God, that's great, because then that way you can just come off the back room or the back door of your room and stand out there and smoke yourself a nice cigarette. But it's a little weird this year because it's like, wow, it's kind of weird being in a hotel and not smoking at all. So it didn't matter anyways because the pool's empty. So it's not like anybody's going to be swimming in there anyway. So that's where I'm at. So it's a little different this year, but, we're coming out of COVID. So we got to slowly ramp things back up, right? Yeah, I guess so. And speaking of ramping things back up, that bridge that goes over the old mighty Mississippi, the I-40 bridge? Well, it's been, been almost a year since that they found that crack and had to shut it down and everything. And somebody got fired over it and stuff. Oh, it was bad. It was really bad. And just think, if they hadn't found it when they did, that whole thing could have just fell off into the river. Oh, and it would have been a catastrophe. And then that person, instead of getting fired, I would not want their job. Anyhow. So, yeah, it has been a year ago since crews discovered that major crack. And what was it, that flex tape that you could get that'll seal anything? Yeah, that didn't work. They tried it, but it didn't work. So that was the major crack that they found on I-40 bridge that links Arkansas and Tennessee together. And it closed it for months on end and really messed people up, too. And not only that, Yeah, that also messed up the chain supply, too, because everybody had to go around the other way, and that really slowed down a lot of stuff. It went unnoticed for years, which forced the Arkansas Department of Transportation to find the fractures within its inspection system. So RDOT is now utilizing some technology to change the standard for bridge safety. So thousands of cars and trucks and semis and everything pass over this bridge between Arkansas and Tennessee. And so it was May 11th of 2021. Those wheels all came to a screeching halt when a group called in to work on a bridge noticed a critical fracture, one that had been missed for years. So it's like many events that affect your life. RDOT Assistant Chief Engineer for Operations, Steve Frisbee, said, he says, you'll probably never forget it. Probably not. Hey, remember that one time when that bridge broke and we couldn't go on it and we had to go around it? Yeah, that was a terrible time. Excuse me. Frisbee said he's seen his fair share of emergencies in more than 20 years of his career, especially doing bridges and stuff, with bridges being hit, bridges being damaged, and bridges even catching fire. Well, yeah, I mean, you get a semi, it goes, and blows up. So I don't have my sound effects and stuff here at the hotel. So I have to make my own. And you got a truck that blows up and it burns right there on the bridge or under a bridge. Yeah, I mean, it could do damage. It can make a bridge curl up. So he's talking about the discovery last year. It stood out because we knew the enormity of this bridge. So even a year later, he still wonders what could have happened if it wasn't caught that day. It would have been like the 35 bridge. I mean, it just would have collapsed and that would have been the end of it. So what they're doing is they're actually using some technology here. And so instead of having to get the little boom truck, because that's what they were doing before. They got a boom truck and then, the guys crawl around and stuff. And they got that boom truck that'll actually go over the side of the bridge and come up underneath the bridge. And then you've seen them around here. They've done these with the bridges and stuff over the rivers and everything, even with bridges that are over freeways and stuff. So it can get pretty dangerous. But what they're doing, though, is they're going to utilize some drones. So now they can use the drones to get footage and everything, and that's kind of what they did. That's how they got the shots and stuff with that crack. The pictures that were released of the crack and everything that we saw, those were drone shots. So they're like, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good idea to use that drone to get them pictures and stuff. What if we actually use the drone to, go in there and take pictures and do inspections and stuff and see if we can find something? Which is great as long as the drone doesn't fly off into the river. That wouldn't be such a bad thing. Well, I mean, you're going to have to train somebody how to do it. I mean, you can't just, just sit there and send one up there and then somebody doesn't know how to fly the thing right and splash, there it is off into the river. And it's like, well, we'll never get that footage now. So they're using some large drones, and these crews are specialized for the inspections. It's got a camera on there, can zoom in 200 times, and has high wind resistance. The smaller ones have obstacle avoidance sensors and don't need GPS to fly, even proving to be nimble enough to get into tight girder spacing as well. And so while out in the field, inspectors are looking for anything out of the ordinary that could show up in these pictures, like shiny metal would mean like fresh cracks, but anything that's rusted would appear that reddish brownish color. So that means, you've got a crack there that's been rusting. And so you want to look for anything like that. And you'd want to look for loose bolts, of course. So loose bolts would be bad as well. And so that doesn't stop when the drone lands, though. Once crews finish inspection out of the bridge, they say that the video, they send that to the office for review on a larger monitor so they can see things. And the engineers said all these efforts are to ensure that nothing goes unnoticed. So taking notes and putting all that into your little bridge inspection report. And part of that is, if you see something in that video, you say something right there. And you go, look, there's something in the video. Unlike the person who got fired, who didn't do their job and report the crack in the beam in the first place. So, yeah. No more relying on people. Now they'll just send drones in there. So, what is the worst 3 Arkansas towns? There's 3 towns that are considered the worst of worst And which really surprised me. Now, the first one does not surprise me. It was the last one that really surprised me. So they did a survey, and they come to find out that it was a recent publication that thrown some major shade on the state of Arkansas and some of the worst cities to visit in the U.S. And 3 came out of Arkansas. The same context as Chicago, Detroit, and Baltimore. You know, if you know anything about those 3 cities, any city in Arkansas being put in the same category, it's not really fair. But this is what the publication, Mind Your Dollars, had to say about these cities that were chosen. So, what in the world was that? Like some kind of, weird noises coming from the hotel room. So, anyhow, the first one they mentioned, which should be no surprise, is Little Rock. Yes, they say the capital city, they said even the smaller cities can have issues with crime and poverty, things that tend to go hand in hand. Not only that, but if you did happen to visit the city, there's a good reason why postcards jokingly state that the mosquitoes in the state of Arkansas are as big as a state bird. Bentonville came in at number 2. So that was kind of a surprise. I mean, you know, that's the home of Walmart and everything. So it says that Bentonville is the founding location of the headquarters of Walmart, and next door to the museum is the Walton's Family Original 5 and Dime store. And if that doesn't excite you, well, you can scratch this city off your travel list. So, I mean, I've never been to Bentonville. I wouldn't mind going to Bentonville, you know, kind of take a look there. But you can go up on Google Maps, and it looks like a nice place to visit and stuff, you know, for, you know, you kind of look into what it was like back in the day for a little town of Arkansas. Now, this one surprised me because it's kind of like down the street from us a little bit, you know, over yonder, kind of down the way, Murfreesboro. Yes, I was quite surprised at Murfreesboro. I figured they'd say like Pine Bluff or something. You know, Pine Bluff always gets the bad rap for being the worst town in Arkansas. So that's pretty much why Murfreesboro made the list. It's the home of the Crater of Diamonds State Park. And you can literally dig for diamonds along with tons of other folks. So it's open. It's been open for more than a century, and a lot of people have gone digging. And you'd think they would have found every diamond by now, but nope. Every now and then they'll spit up another. Somebody just recently found a huge diamond a couple weeks ago, too. That was also in the news. This is what really gets me, though. If you've ever visited Murfreesboro, it's an awesome place to get away from it all. I've been there a couple times, not at the state park, but we've got a sister station that's just outside there, Nashville, Arkansas, and Murfreesboro is right over there. In fact, I think that's where the transmitter site was, because I was between Nashville and Murfreesboro. But and they got a huge school out there too. But I mean, it's a great place to get away from it all and everything. You know, great place to take kids and stuff. You know, you got the lake, you know, and you got some cabins out there that are off the river. You know, it's a good place to visit and everything. But obviously, I guess the person who wrote this knows nothing about the area, because they just make it sound like it's a big old thing of dirt, and all you can really do out there is just dig for diamonds. That's why it really surprised me that Murfreesboro would make the list. Like I said, Little Rock, yeah, I could expect that. Pine Bluff, oh yeah, I could definitely see it. Bentonville, I don't know. Hey, look at it this way: at least Camden is not on that list. So that's a good thing, right? El Dorado thanks you for your business. Yeah, I'm always going to be doing that. You know, we've got the end of the school year coming up, and so we got some traditions for end of school year doing things and stuff. And real quick, though, it is the end of the school year coming up, so a new poll looked at the end of the school year traditions that we do, and half of moms with young kids say they take a photo of their kids at the end of each grade, and 43% go and get ice cream. There you go. So that's what they do. What are your traditions? What do y'all do? We always did the pictures before school, but I don't ever remember doing any pictures after school. All right, I've got to take this break, and we've got the round table coming up. Carrie Underwood will be our round table guest because, you know, it's Friday, and so it's Friday the 13th as well. So it's going to be Freaky Friday out there. And we'll get all into that here in just a little bit right after this. News Talk 92, KBEU, the news and talk of South Arkansas.